Lord Lieutenant, Honorary Recorder, Honorary Freeman, Madam Dean, Freedom Representatives, honoured guests, councillors, good evening and a very warm welcome to you all. Please may I firstly announce apologies for this evening's meeting. They have been received from Councillor Prest and Councillor Brophy. Also, are there any disclosures of interest to be made regarding the business before us tonight? Thank you. So the next item of business is the election of the 825th Mayor of Winchester to hold office until the next annual meeting of the Council. So I therefore call upon the proposer of the Mayor, Councillor Jackie Porter.
Thank you very much. Lord Lieutenant, Madam Mayor, Honorary Recorder, Honorary Freeman, Madam Dean, Freedom Representatives, honoured guests and councillors, I'd like to propose Councillor Russell Gordon-Smith as Mayor. Russell can claim to be a real Hampshire hog, having been born on a Hampshire farm in Emsworth in 1950. Russell's father was in the army, so his childhood was spent in various countries, Germany and subsequently Czechoslovakia and then Spain. By the age of 10, he thus lived under a communist regime and then the regime of Franco. His parents returned to England and bought a house in the New Forest. Russell was sent to Sedbergh School in Yorkshire. He won the 10-mile race in the Wilson Run, a particularly gruelling cross-country race across the fells in 1968. I'm told it was a year in which the weather was the worst ever recorded. It seems he had a gap year to remember. He spent a year working on a farm as a swineherd in Norway before going to Sheffield University to read history and English. And while he was there, he joined the Officer Training Corps with other cadets to enjoy some of the best parts of military life. After passing the selection, he went parachuting with the army. He describes that as exhilarating and frightening in equal parts. He bought his first motorcycle in 1968 and has been a keen motorcyclist ever since and often comes to council meetings on the A31 on his motorcycle. Russell's life took a sideways move and he trains as a landscape architect, and a profession which he has followed since 1972. By various chances, Russell started working for a Lebanese consultancy, Dar al-Handasar, the House of Engineers, or more poetically, the Haven of Talent. Russell translated that, not me. His work for Dar went on for some years and took him to most of the Middle Eastern countries, Lebanon, Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Saudi, and also to Nigeria. And he worked on various university projects, roads, town plans, parks, housing, and those animals coming again, even a couple of zoos. Subsequently, Russell worked for many other consultancies in the Middle East, Hong Kong and Brunei, as well as the UK. Apart from experiencing different cultures and developing a global view, he learned firsthand from the civil war in Beirut, the invasion of Kuwait, riots in Bahrain, a coup attempt or two, and repressive regimes in many other countries. He learned the huge value of democracy and how precious, fragile, and vulnerable that is. And I know he holds that concern dearly. So why did Russell become a Winchester City Councillor so that he can become Mayor today? And why Alresford? The council answer is the easiest. Russell joined the Alresford Society, and I know there are people here from the Alresford Society, the town's civic society, in 1998, and advised on design and planning issues, and still does today. It's one of his greatest interests and enthusiasms. This led to serving on the town council for 6 years before progressing to stand as the Liberal Democrat candidate for the ward of Alresford and the Itchen Valley. He's always been a Liberal voter and a supporter. It's hardly surprising that having lived under both a communist and fascist regime, the middle ground is really attractive to him. Why Alresford? The two-word answer will be Dinah Ashcroft, who's been at the centre of his life since they first met in 1994, when the eyes met, apparently, over a dustbin outside 2 to 4 and 6 to 8 the Soak. A wonderful and committed life followed this seemingly nondescript event. I'm told the lid wasn't broken, by the way. Perhaps it's not possible to detect a carefully followed life plan that's led him to this point. It's rather more like a detective novel in which the plot twists and turns unexpectedly, while still having a logic and pattern that becomes apparent as it progresses, and mayoralty seems to be the natural progression. I've already seen Russell in action as the deputy mayor. His general knowledge is extremely wide, and his meticulous research to find some subject of interest to share on his visit is really appreciated by his audience. Many more citizens will no doubt be entertained by Councillor Gordon-Smith as mayor too. So, councillors, I propose Councillor Russell Gordon-Smith as the 825th mayor of Winchester for the municipal year 2024 to 2025.
Thank you, Councillor Porter. Thank you. I now call upon the seconder of the mayor, Councillor Margot Power. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Lord Lieutenant, Madam Mayor, Honorary Recorder, Honorary Freeman, Madam Dean, Freedom Representatives, honoured guests and councillors. It is my pleasure not only to second Councillor Gordon-Smith as Mayor, but also to tell you what a wonderful Lady Mayoress we will have. I first met Dinah when her mother became a neighbour of ours. Claire led us astray on a regular basis, but Dinah is a far more respectable citizen. Her parents were both naval officers during the Second World War, and her childhood was spent in Hong Kong and Ceylon, now Sri Lanka, as well as sunny Surrey. Dinah's working life was in publishing, teaching, including school dramatic productions, and as a psychotherapist. As friends, Russell and Dinah provide good food, good company, and excellent singing. The Daily Express Community Songbook has featured on the odd evening. Lovely dogs and cats, and a very entertaining family. In short, they will have a lovely year as Mayor and Mayoress, and we will have a lovely time with them. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Power. So I now put the motion to the meeting that Councillor Russell Gordon-Smith be elected Mayor of the City of Winchester for the period commencing the 15th of May 2024. Is that agreed? Agreed.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, and ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful celebration of music from our friends at the Orsford Community Choir. Thank you for supporting them with your fine praise, with your applause. Now we move on to the next element of the business. The retiring Mayor, Councillor Angela Clear, will now present the Mayor with the civic regalia. As the items are handing over, hopefully the pictures of each, so you can see them, will show on the screen behind me. Thank you. Mr. Mayor, Councillor Clear. As Councillor Clear decides which item to hand over first, the first item is indeed the mayoral jewel, which dates back to 1924. I think it's the jewelled badge. Yeah. That's right. Thank you. The next item is the ring, which is only worn on royal occasions and at major cathedral services. The keys to the city are also handed to the Mayor. Thank you. And then there are some items to pass to the Mayoress. So may I ask the Mayoress to join us? You can just pop those up. Lovely, thank you very much. And the Mayoress is presented with the brooch and the bracelet. On this side. And before you leave, most importantly, the keys to Abbey House. Thank you. If I might invite the Mayor and Councillor Clear just to return. Thank you. Because I now call upon the Mayor to take the declaration of acceptance of office.
I, Russell Gordon-Smith, having been elected to the office of Mayor of the City of Winchester, hereby declare that I will take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties thereof to the best of my judgment and ability.
And we have just a little bit of administration that goes with that. So I invite the Mayor to sign the declaration. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Chief Executive. Lord Lieutenant, Honorary Recorder, Honorary Freeman, Madam Dean, Freedom Representatives, honoured guests and councillors. It is somewhat daunting to be standing next in the queue of the 824 previous mayors who have served our great city and district. Amongst them, so many eminent people. Although the origin of the mayoralty is lost in the mist of history, it can be reckoned to date back to the time of the death of Richard Coeur de Lion, a long time ago. I would like to thank very much all the recently retired mayors, many of whom have offered me some excellent advice, and particularly to Angela Clear, who served as a mayor twice and for longer than any other of the recent mayors. She has given me a very useful apprenticeship as serving as her deputy mayor. She also gave me some advice. She said, "You start as a peacock and end up as a feather duster." I would particularly like to thank the Alresford Community Choir, who've turned out in force on a lovely sunny evening to entertain you, and I could only hear snatches of it from the back, but it sounded fantastic and well up to their usual standard. My particular thanks to Keith Clark, the director, and also to Sue Gentry, who was responsible for marshalling everybody on and everybody off. I think to be selected as the mayor of the city and representative of the people of the district is both an honour and a great responsibility. And I think the chain we wear, magnificent as it is also a symbol of the duty and the load of responsibilities that we carry. My year as the deputy mayor has been a real eye-opener. I've realised that in the city, beside the physical structure that we have, the remains of the Roman city, the traces of the medieval walls, the magnificent cathedral and the other ancient buildings around here, there is an equivalent civil and society structure that's almost as ancient and is in many ways more valuable. This social structure is made up of many volunteers, fundraisers and helpers of all sorts that collectively do so much of the essential work in this city. They do so much to improve the lives of many, from infants through to childhood, through education, old age, and indeed until the twilight of many. I'm particularly proud to play a part in these organisations, both formally and informally, and to represent them and to offer recognition of their efforts. I think I might mention on the subject of civil structure my fellow councillors, both long-serving and more recently elected. Colleagues, you do so much to improve the lives of the citizens in the city and in the district. And yet, there is this constant media drip feed telling us that politicians, which is what the councillors are, local politicians at any rate, there's a constant drip feed that councillors and politicians are in it for themselves. I think I would put it to you that there's at least 45 in this room who are not in it for themselves, but for the community. One of the mayor's duties is to select charities to support during his year in office. I've chosen 4. I've chosen them because I think they fit well within the council plan, particularly with the topic of living well, and also to create a vibrant local economy. I've selected charities also that cover a good spread of ages, and ones that particularly cover my concerns, my interests and enthusiasms. They are St John's Dementia Support, the Winchester Sea Cadets, the Hampshire History Trust, and Winchester Radio. These organisations have set up display banners and information, and their representatives will be here after this meeting closes, and I'm sure they'll be delighted to talk to you and to explain what their charities do. Some of their ambitions are also, and their aims, are also given in the charity brochure, which I think was all on the seats. I think I would make the point that it's a real struggle at the moment for charities to raise funds. The economic climate is against it. The charities have set up a programme of events to raise funds and hopefully to both entertain and inform and enrich lives. I would urge you all to participate. I think we can see that our social structure has been badly damaged by events in the last few years, particularly COVID, which broke the pattern of many lives. The changing shape and style of work has had an effect too, with people living disjointed lives and disconnected from society. Now, we know that our ancient buildings require a lot of work to keep them in good order and maintain them, and I think the civil structures in the city require the same type of maintenance. And quite apart from the funds that these four charities require, and lots of other charities, they also require volunteers. And I think I've seen in the last year that volunteers gain an awful lot from taking part in events and being part of the group that supports the charities, both obviously for the charities, but also for their own sort of personal sense of well-being and being part of the community. Now, public speaking is clearly a part of the mayoral role. But I think there's another related part, which is what you might call public listening. And the mayor has many opportunities to listen to others. And I think it's immensely valuable to understand people's concerns, their problems, and their ideas. And I think also I've found as deputy mayor, one is able to very often connect disparate groups that sometimes don't really know of each other's existence. And I also feel that in the hubbub of daily life, there's lots of voices that go unheard. And I hope that I will be able to listen to the voices that are silent or silenced or ignored. And at that point, I will conclude my speech and start listening.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I now call upon the Mayor to make a presentation to the new Mayor's Cadets. May I welcome them to the stage?
Right, badges. Is it these certificates? Oh, incoming cadets.
Yes.
I now call upon Councillor Neil Cutler to propose a vote of thanks to the retiring Mayor, Councillor Angela Clear.
Lord Lieutenant, Mr Mayor, Honorary Recorder, Honorary Freeman, Madam Dean, Freedom Representatives, honoured guests and councillors. It's an honour to be asked to say a few words about my good friend and fellow Ward Councillor, former Madam Mayor, Councillor Angela Clear. When Angie, as everyone knows her, was elected Deputy Mayor 2 years ago, embarking on her second term, she surely would not have imagined she would be required to take over early as Mayor and effectively spend 18 months in this incredibly busy role, making her the longest serving Mayor in living memory. During this extended period, Angie has attended numerous engagements with barely a break. And I see in the leaflet it talks about 450 engagements in a year. I would imagine, Angela wouldn't tell me how many she'd been to, but it's got to be more than 600 there. She's chaired 7 full council meetings with her usual combination of firmness and good humour. She's represented the city and district at many civic events, visited so many community organisations across the district, along with putting on her own charitable fundraising events. All this has been achieved with her unerring cheerfulness, kindness and empathy. I know how much Angela enjoys being involved with the groups involved in building and developing communities throughout our district, and she has used her position as Mayor to encourage these people who put so much into community work. One of the high points of her term as Mayor was the Mayor's Awards evening, which I understand there were more than 100 awards made to the various community groups and the people who work tirelessly for our communities. Angie, you've been a wonderful ambassador for our council and district for the last 18 months, and it's with great pleasure that I move that this council give a huge thank you to you for your exceptional public service as Mayor of Winchester.
Thank you, Councillor Cutler. I will now call upon the seconder of the vote of thanks, Councillor Kelsey Lerney.
Lord Lieutenant, Mr Mayor, Honorary Recorder, Honorary Freeman, Madam Dean, Freedom Representatives, honoured guests and fellow councillors. It is traditional that the seconder of the vote of thanks says a few words about the Mayoress or Mayor's escort, and it gives me great pleasure to do so this year. Retiring from Winchester City Council last year after having been a councillor for 28 years, including being Deputy Leader of the Council, Leader of the Liberal Democrat Group, Chair of Planning and Mayor herself in 2001 to 2002, Therese Evans has made an unparalleled contribution to civic life in Winchester and her hometown of Wickham, where she was a parish councillor for many years. She has been in a unique position to support the Mayor during her year in office, and it has been great to have her involvement in council life for another year. Over the past year, Therese has very much enjoyed meeting the unsung heroes, young and old, from so many communities across the district, working with the Mayor's charities and the wearing of many lovely hats. I will sum up with the phrase given to me by Councillor Clear, "She has come up trumps," and it gives me great pleasure to second the vote of thanks to Councillor Angela Clear for her service as Mayor of Winchester.
Thank you, Councillor Lerney. I now put the motion to the meeting. that the best thanks of the Council be accorded to Councillor Angela Clear for her service to the Council as Mayor. Is that agreed? Agreed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Mayor will now hand the retiring Mayor and the retiring Mayoress their badges. As the items are handed over, pictures of each item will appear on the screen behind. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and it's my very great pleasure to invite the retiring Mayor to give a short speech in reply.
Lord Lieutenant, Honorary Recorder, Honorary Freeman, Madam Dean, Freedom Representatives, honoured guests and councillors. This evening, as I stand before you, to be honest, my heart is filled with both gratitude and melancholy. For the second time, I have served as Mayor for Winchester and District. And this past year, or rather the past 18 months, has been fantastic. I once again embarked on a journey of civic duty and community engagements. And being Mayor for the second time, I suppose, allowed me to step into this position with greater ease and a bit more confidence. It has been an incredible journey, and as I move on with the next chapter of my professional life, I will hold such wonderful memories of those moments and people that have made me laugh and have made me cry. I would like to express my gratitude to my team, to Jane, the Mayor's Secretary. Thank you. Because she came in August, I believe, and she was landed with me, weren't you, Jane? But she's been brilliant, so I thank you. Anne, for looking after Abbey House and for doing the food and the drinkies when it's called for. And to my Mayoress, Therese Evans, for your continued support and for keeping an eye on me, because she does. And before I go any further, please may you allow me to take and give Therese a little appreciation. Thank you. Now I turn a new page and I say goodbye as Mayor. I do so with a deep appreciation for all those I have met and worked with during my term as Mayor, both here in Winchester and throughout the district. You have shown me what wonderful communities we have. I have witnessed the resilience and the determination of our communities. I thank everyone who has provided guidance, assistance, and of course, laughter. And I've got to say this because it might be for the last time, and especially my men in uniform. They are. You've all been part of my daily life, and I think fondly of so many. And I think the roles they've played has made being mayor much more than just a job. So many have made it rewarding, fun, and something that I will greatly miss. So I move on and I hand the baton to Russell, your new mayor. He will be fantastic, he'll be fine, and his lovely lady wife. And once again, I thank you all for being part of my wonderful journey. Winchester and district will always hold a special place in my heart. And thank you from the bottom of my heart once again for the privilege and honour given to me as the 824th Mayor of Winchester. And God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Clare. I now call upon the Mayor to make a presentation to the new Mayor Cadets. Would you like to join us on the stage?
No,
It's my cadets.
I think there's a bit of confusion there.
Oh, it's my cadets.
It's past cadets, two of them.
My apologies.
It's my boys and girls.
Okay. Just arriving on the stage are the retiring Mayor's Cadets, who have done a stunning job over the past year because I've had the honour of standing with Madam Mayor on such occasions. My apologies.
Thank you, Councillor Clear. The next item of business this evening is the election of Deputy Mayor to hold the office until the next annual meeting of the Council. I therefore call upon the proposer for the Deputy Mayor, Councillor John Tippett Cooper.
Lord Lieutenant, Mr Mayor, honoured guests, councillors, I hereby propose that Councillor Sudhakar Achwal be elected Deputy Mayor of the City of Winchester.
Thank you, Councillor Tippett Cooper. I now will call upon the seconder for the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Mark Reach.
Lord Lieutenant, Mr Mayor, honoured guests, councillors, I second the motion.
Thank you, Councillor Reach. I now put the motion to the meeting that Councillor Sudhakar Achwal be elected Deputy Mayor of the City of Winchester for the period commencing the 15th of May 2024. Is that agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. The Mayor will now present the Deputy Mayor and the Deputy Mayoress with their badges of office, and the Deputy Mayor will then sign the Declaration of Acceptance of Office. The items of regalia being presented will be shown on the screen behind.
Down.
May I just invite the Deputy Mayor to sign his declaration of office with me? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll go around the other way now.
Thank you. The next item of business is for the Mayor to present the leader with his badge of office. And I now call upon the leader, Councillor Martin Todd, to announce the deputy leader and other members of Cabinet.
Thank you. Lord Lieutenant, Mr Mayor, honoured guests and councillors. It's my great pleasure to make the following announcement about the composition of Cabinet. Councillor Neil Cutler will continue as Deputy Leader and be Cabinet Member for Finance and Performance. I'm also reappointing Councillor Kelsey Lerney to be Cabinet Member for the Climate Emergency, Councillor Lucille Thompson as the Cabinet Member for Business and Culture, Councillor Jackie Porter as Cabinet Member for Place and the Local Plan, Councillor Chris Westwood as Cabinet Member for Housing, and Councillor Kathleen Becker as Cabinet Member for Community Engagement. And I will continue with my responsibility as Cabinet Member for Regeneration and Asset Management.
Thank you, Leader. Members will have in front of them a table of the committees referred to at agenda items 8 and 9, which sets out the nominations for the membership and chairpersons of those bodies. Can these be collectively agreed? Agreed. May I call upon the Leader to propose and the Deputy Leader to second the various resolutions as set out at agenda items 10 and 11, please, together with the appointments of the memberships as listed on the table in front of members.
Is that agreed? Oh, sorry.
I so move the motion.
Is that agreed? Thank you. May I now take the opportunity to welcome back our returning members after the election. Councillor Warwick, Councillors Clear, Councillor Lerney, Councillors Tippett Cooper, Scott, Councillor Westwood, Cremoyson, Vivian Atchwell and Godfrey. And a special mention to the new members who are Councillor Claire Pinniger, who was elected in the Alresford ward, Councillor Richie Latham, who was elected in the Bishop's Waltham ward, Councillor Rachel Aaron, who was elected in the St Michael ward, Councillor Suzanne White, who was elected in the Central Meon Valley ward, Councillor Michael Bennett, who was elected in the Denmead ward. A very warm welcome to you all. I shall now present certificates to retiring councillors in recognition of the service to the community as previous members of the Winchester City Council. I now call upon former councillor Michael Kern, and I'll come down to the lectern. Thank you for your service. Thank you very much. Lovely friend. I now call upon former councillor Frank Pearson.
Looking well.
Receiving his certificate in recognition of his 22 years service between 2002 and 2024 to the communities of the previous Swanmore and Newtown ward until 2016 and the Central Meon Valley ward subsequently. Frank has served on the cabinet between 2006 and 2010 and was leader of the council in 2015. Frank was the mayor of Winchester twice, 2012 to 13, and 2018 to 19, and has also been a long-standing member of the planning committee. And I can attest to how knowledgeable you are about planning and what a great contribution you make. Thank you very much. That is the last item of the agenda of the business, and I will therefore call the annual meeting of the council to an end. What's on the next page? Now we go off.
Would everyone please stand? Thank you. Please do be seated. And just as the mayoral party leaves us, Lord Lieutenant, honoured guests and councillors, there is a reception for you all to join us in the King Charles Hall just across the corridor. But we just require a few more moments just to ensure the room is ready. So there are some drinks at the back of the room, but please may I ask you to remain here just for a few more minutes. Thank you so much for joining us this evening at this special evening in the Winchester City Council calendar. It's an honour to have you all here with us tonight.